Hey, hold on for a second. I need you to sit down, lean in, and be honest with yourself. Have you ever felt like no matter how much you try, women just don't seem to notice you the way you want them to? Like you're doing everything right, smiling, being polite, maybe even joking, but still, the spark never happens. And deep down, it starts to chip away at your confidence, your self-esteem, even your sense of worth. Listen, I get it. I've been there, and I've seen countless men beat themselves up over the same thing. Here's the harsh truth that no one's going to tell you in a motivational quote or cheesy self-help book. Attraction isn't just about looks, money, or game. It's about emotion, plain and simple. And here's where it gets controversial. You might think you know how to talk to a woman, but if you're not speaking her emotional language, you're invisible. Yes, invisible. She might like your jokes, appreciate your effort, or even flirt back, but if you're not triggering a deeper emotional response, all your energy is wasted. There's a tiny psychological trick backed by research in human connection, neurolinguistics, and evolutionary psychology. Certain words carry a magnetic emotional charge. The right word at the right time can literally make her heart skip a beat, make her pay attention, and even create a subconscious pull toward you. And no, it's not manipulative magic. It's understanding human emotion and speaking to it. Now, before you roll your eyes, think about this. Women are constantly scanning for emotional resonance. Studies show that women respond more strongly to emotional cues than logical arguments. That's why no amount of showing off your bank account or Instagram followers will ever replace the power of saying exactly the right word that resonates with her emotional core. So here's what I'm about to do. I'm going to teach you 5 emotional words no woman can resist. Not cheesy pickup lines, not tricks or gimmicks. Real words that speak directly to her heart and mind. And by the end of this, if you're paying attention, you'll see why most men fail, why women respond unconsciously to emotional triggers, and how you can start using this in a way that's confident, authentic, and irresistible. Are you ready? Because once you know these words, nothing about your interactions will ever feel the same again. 1. You're unique. Let me ask you something. How often do you actually make a woman feel like she stands out? I mean, really stands out. Most guys walk around thinking compliments are just about her looks. You're pretty. You have a nice smile. You look amazing. Sure, she might smile, but inside, those words are disposable. They're background noise. Women hear them all the time, from every direction. Here's the problem. If you're just recycling the same lines every guy uses, you're invisible, flat, replaceable, and no one wants to feel replaceable. Now imagine this. Instead of the usual, you say something that actually stops her in her tracks. Something that acknowledges her essence, not her appearance, not her job title, not her social media posts, but her uniqueness. Maybe it's a subtle observation about the way she laughs when she's genuinely amused. Maybe it's noticing a passion she quietly nurtures but rarely shares. Or maybe it's recognizing a strength in her character that even she sometimes underestimates. That's powerful. That's magnetic. Here's the psychological reason why humans crave recognition. Evolutionarily, our brains are wired to respond to social validation. But here's the kicker. Superficial validation barely registers. It's the deep, specific recognition that triggers a dopamine response, a spark of emotional reward in the brain. When you genuinely say, "You're unique," and you mean it, you're not just giving her a compliment. You're making her feel seen. Seen for her individuality, her quirks, her patterns, her hidden value. And guess what? That feeling is addictive. She will unconsciously remember it. But here's where most men fail. They try to create uniqueness through exaggeration or flattery. They overcomplicate things, thinking that making her feel special requires big gestures or fancy words. Wrong. True emotional connection is subtle. It's noticing the little details others ignore. It's pointing out something about her that even she didn't realize mattered to her identity. That's what makes your unique resonate. That's what separates you from the generic crowd of men who never get past surface-level attraction. Ask yourself this. When was the last time a woman walked away from a conversation with you thinking, he actually gets me? If you can't answer that immediately, you're missing the point. Your unique isn't just a line, it's a mindset. It's a way of interacting where you pay attention, you observe, and you acknowledge the parts of her world that no one else bothers to notice. That mindset alone positions you as rare, interesting, and emotionally intelligent. Here's the subtle twist. Women don't just want to be unique. They want someone who can recognize and respect it. That's why this word carries emotional weight. It's not about pandering. It's not about flattery. It's about truthful observation delivered with genuine interest. When done correctly, it creates an invisible thread of connection that draws her toward you without force, without games. So here's the challenge, the controversial truth. Most men don't even try. They rely on generic compliments and wonder why they fail. If you want to rise above that, start practicing this. Look beyond the surface. Notice patterns. Catch the small, meaningful details. Then say it in a calm, confident way. You're unique. Watch how the room changes, how her eyes respond, how she subconsciously leans in. This is emotional language. This is attraction. And if you ignore it, you're leaving the door wide open for every other man who does. 2. I appreciate you. Let me ask you something. How often do you actually show appreciation to a woman in a way that hits her emotionally? And I don't mean the usual thanks for cooking or listening. I mean real appreciation. The kind that makes her feel noticed, valued, and genuinely important. Most men don't get this. They think being nice, paying for things, or giving generic compliments is enough. Here's the cold, controversial truth. It's not. Nice guys get friend-zoned. Generous men get taken for granted. Why? Because appreciation is emotional currency, and most men spend it like they're giving out coins, not gold. Think about it. Women are wired to notice emotional intent more than physical effort. Neuroscience shows that the brain responds more powerfully to emotional validation than material gestures. When you genuinely say, I appreciate you, you're not just being polite, you're triggering a deep, positive emotional reaction. It tells her that her actions, her personality, her presence, everything about her matters to someone. And here's the controversial part. If you don't show this kind of appreciation, she'll assume it doesn't exist. That's how men end up feeling invisible in relationships. Now I want you to picture this. You're talking to a woman after a long day. She's stressed, tired, maybe even a little irritable. You could nod, grunt, or drop a boring line like, "You did fine." Or you could pause, look her in the eyes, and say something like, "I really appreciate how you handled that today. You made a difference, and I noticed it." That pause, that recognition, it's like an emotional power move. It's subtle, yet profoundly magnetic. Here's why. Appreciation validates effort and emotional labor, two things women often perform silently. Think about it. She's juggling work, social obligations, family, maybe even personal challenges. When you verbalize your recognition of her efforts, you're speaking directly to her brain's reward system. Dopamine spikes, oxytocin flows. That emotional connection strengthens. And the best part? It doesn't come across as manipulative. It's authentic, it's human, and authenticity is irresistible. Most men don't realize this because they confuse appreciation with flattery. There's a huge difference. Flattery is surface level, often vague, and easily dismissed. Appreciation is specific, grounded in truth, and emotionally resonant. For example, instead of saying, "You're amazing," you say, "I really appreciate how you stayed calm under pressure today. That wasn't easy, and I noticed it." See the difference? One is forgettable, the other sticks. One is noise, the other is emotional resonance. Here's the wake-up call, though. If you ignore appreciation, if you fail to acknowledge her emotional labor, she'll start seeking it elsewhere. And yes, that's controversial. Women crave emotional recognition. It's not a weakness. It's a human need. And the man who fulfills that need with authenticity, he becomes unforgettable. He becomes magnetic. He becomes the guy she subconsciously remembers when she's asked, "Who really gets me?" So here's your challenge. Start noticing, start acknowledging, start saying it out loud. "I appreciate you" isn't just a sentence, it's a signal. It's a bridge to emotional intimacy. It's the difference between being another guy she tolerates and being the man she genuinely feels connected to. Use it wisely. Use it consistently. And watch how her emotional walls start to lower, how her attention turns, and how attraction deepens. All because you understood one simple truth. Every woman wants to feel truly appreciated, not just noticed. 3. I trust you. Ask yourself, when was the last time a woman truly felt safe with you? Not just physically, but emotionally. Not just in passing, but deeply, in a way that made her want to open up, share, and let her guard down. Here's the harsh truth. Most men think trust is built by grand gestures, long speeches, or promises. Wrong. Trust isn't given. Trust is felt. And women sense it at a level most men can't even see. Think about it. Trust is more than a word. It's a psychological trigger. It tells her that she can rely on you, that you respect her vulnerability, that she won't be judged, dismissed, or misunderstood. When you genuinely convey trust, you create a safe emotional space, and women are wired to respond to that. Neuropsychology even backs this up. Humans release oxytocin when they feel trusted and when they trust someone else. That's the same chemical linked to bonding, attachment, and yes, emotional attraction. Now, here's the kicker. Saying "I trust you" isn't about weakness or putting yourself at risk. Far from it. It's about showing confidence. It's about acknowledging her judgment, her choices, and her integrity. When you mean it, it signals maturity, emotional intelligence, and strength, the kind of strength that doesn't intimidate but draws her in. Most men get this completely wrong. They either overcompensate with controlled skepticism or testing, or they underplay it, thinking actions alone are enough. Both approaches fail because women unconsciously scan for emotional cues. They notice whether you believe in them, whether you feel secure with them, whether your words and actions align. And if they don't sense trust, the attraction falters. Here's a critical question. When she shares her thoughts, feelings, or fears, do you respond with judgment, advice, or indifference? Or do you listen, absorb, and quietly affirm her intelligence and intuition? Trust isn't a lecture. It's a quiet, emotional understanding. It's the invisible glue that connects two people beyond superficial attraction. The controversial truth is this: women can sense even subtle insecurity or doubt, and that instantly reduces emotional pull. But genuine trust, calm, consistent, and grounded, creates a magnetic field around you. It makes her want to invest emotionally, to reveal more, to lean in rather than pull away. That's the power of "I trust you." So, here's your takeaway. Building trust isn't complicated, but it requires awareness, patience, and emotional discipline. Say it when you mean it. Show it through calm confidence. And remember, trust is not a vulnerability. It's a strength. It's a word that, when truly felt, speaks louder than anything else you could say. 4. I need you. Here's something most men refuse to admit. Saying I need you doesn't make you weak. In fact, not saying it often makes you invisible. Let me be blunt. Far too many guys walk around acting like they have everything together, like they don't rely on anyone, like vulnerability is a flaw. And here's the ugly truth. Women feel that. They sense it. That emotional armor you think makes you attractive, half the time, it pushes her away. Think about it. Emotional neediness is feared because it's misunderstood, but genuine need, the kind that comes from trust, respect, and authentic connection, is magnetic. Why? Because humans crave significance. When you express that you genuinely need her, not just for comfort, sex, or validation, but because her presence, her insight, and her energy make your life fuller, you're giving her a powerful emotional signal. She matters. And when a woman feels truly significant, attraction skyrockets. Here's the controversial part. Most men avoid this because they've been conditioned to believe that needing someone equals weakness. Societal norms, toxic masculinity, movies, and peer pressure all tell men to man up and never show dependence. But here's the wake-up call. You're not attractive because you're untouchable. You're attractive when you show authentic human connection. And saying, I need you, is one of the most direct, honest ways to create that connection. Ask yourself this. When was the last time you allowed a woman to see that her presence changes your day, that her support matters, that her input shapes your choices? If you can't answer that, you're part of the problem. You're hiding behind false independence, missing one of the most powerful emotional words you can say. Now here's the subtle art. Saying I need you isn't a plea. It's calm. It's measured. It's grounded in self-respect. It's not desperation. It's acknowledgement of human interdependence. It tells her that she is significant in a way that goes beyond appearances or casual attention. It says, I see your value, and I recognize that my life is better with you in it. That's a rare emotional message most women don't hear enough. So here's my advice. Wake up. Stop acting like vulnerability is a liability. Start expressing emotional truth. Start letting her know she matters in ways that go deeper than surface-level compliments. Because when you do, attraction changes, connection deepens, and suddenly, those walls she's built start to come down. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. The controversial truth? If you're avoiding saying, I need you, you're sabotaging your own emotional pull. Women aren't attracted to perfection, they're attracted to emotional honesty. And admitting that you need her, that's as honest, magnetic, and irresistible as it gets. 5. You inspire me. Here's a truth most men overlook. Admiration isn't just a polite gesture, it's an emotional trigger. Most guys think showing respect or complimenting achievements is enough. But admiration, real, heartfelt admiration, goes deeper. It tells a woman that she isn't just present, she is impactful. That her actions, her choices, and even her mindset matter on a level bigger than herself. And here's the thing. Women subconsciously notice who sees their impact, and those men stick in their minds. Ask yourself, when was the last time you told a woman she inspires you? Not because she looks good or succeeds in predictable ways, but because she moves you emotionally. Not just as a partner, but as a human being navigating her life. This is where most men fail. They confuse admiration with flattery. Saying, you're amazing is easy. Saying you inspire me carries weight. It's specific, it's personal, and it connects on an emotional level that resonates. Why does this matter? Psychologically, inspiration activates parts of the brain linked to motivation, emotional connection, and bonding. When someone tells us we inspire them, we feel seen, not just noticed, but recognized for our effort, courage, or creativity. That recognition triggers an emotional reward system. In other words, you're not just making her feel good, you're creating an invisible magnetic pull that draws her toward you emotionally. Here's where the controversial truth hits. Most men don't realize they are emotionally invisible because they don't vocalize admiration. They assume their actions or attention are enough. But women subconsciously measure emotional impact. If you never tell her she inspires you, she may appreciate you quietly, but she won't feel the emotional connection that makes her think about you when you're not around. She won't feel that magnetic pull that turns attraction into fascination. So how do you do it right? Keep it calm, grounded, and authentic. Don't exaggerate. Don't use it as a tool. Look for moments when her ideas, strength, creativity, or perseverance genuinely impress you, and tell her. "You inspire me" is more than words. It's an acknowledgement that she matters in your life, that her actions have meaning, and that her presence has a ripple effect. That's emotional currency men rarely spend, yet it's one of the strongest triggers for attraction. Here's the wake-up call. If you're not expressing inspiration, you're leaving a vacuum that other men might fill without even trying as hard. Women want to be seen as impactful, not just admired superficially. When you consistently show that her life, choices, and energy matter to you, you don't just become someone she likes. You become someone she likes, remembers, respects, and unconsciously gravitates toward. So here's the takeaway. Admiration is not optional. It's not a nice to have. It's emotional power. Use "you inspire me" with authenticity and watch how it transforms the way she perceives you, how attraction deepens, emotional connection strengthens, and your presence in her life becomes unforgettable. Here's the hard truth that most men will hate hearing. If you're not using these emotional words, "you're unique," "I appreciate you," "I trust you," "I need you," and "you inspire me," you're invisible. You might think you're charming, successful, or confident, but without speaking to a woman's emotional core, none of it matters. Attraction isn't built on looks, status, or clever lines. It's built on emotional resonance. And most men are failing at the one thing that actually works. I want you to pause and think. When was the last time you made a woman truly feel seen, valued, and emotionally connected to you? If you can't answer that, don't worry. You're not alone. Most guys don't even realize what they're missing. But here's your chance to change that. Start using these words with authenticity, calm confidence, and awareness. Watch how it changes the way women respond to you and how it changes your own self-esteem in the process. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment about your experiences, successes, failures, or moments when you tried something different, and I'll personally respond. Let's start a conversation. Let's break the cycle of invisibility and start building real emotional connection together. Because once you master this, everything else, it just falls into place.